Welcome back to Clone Wars Quickie, ladies and gentlemen.
This is episode 2 of our weekly series documenting Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 7.
Yeah, I think that, there are some things to add about this season so far with this episode, and we're just going to get right into it.
Yeah. Oh, if you haven't watched our normal podcast, which I would highly recommend we do, we talk about a great movie in that one. You obviously have noticed that we are in person right now. We're trying this out. Please let us know what you think. Do you like? Do you dislike? Leave your comment below or just like the video.
Yeah, and we'll know, hey, more video, please.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
Yeah, so if you don't like this, just dislike. Actually, don't dislike.
Don't dislike
Just
this.
If you don't like it,
Comment.
like the video.
No, if
and
you
comment.
do. Now, hear me out on this. If you don't like it, you comment.
Okay.
Saying you don't like it, but you still leave a like because you want to support us.
Exactly. So without further ado, please join us at the round table.
So let's get right into it.
All right.
So this episode is, of course, episode 2.
Yeah.
And we pick up right where we left off of them finding out Echo has, been alive this whole time.
Yeah, and we see a little bit of skepticism from the members of both the Bad Batch and Anakin Skywalker. Rex is really the only firm believer, which I think speaks volumes to his character.
Yeah, I think we really see how good of a guy Rex really is.
Yeah.
And how much he loves his soldiers.
Yeah.
And which, of course, Pierce and I talked about this in the Clone Wars recap. One of our favorite parts of Clone Wars is the humanity of the clones.
Exactly.
And they continue showing how important that is to the show. With the first 2 episodes.
Yeah. I think that this episode also brings in another important part, and that's in the actual opening scene of the episode. We have Anakin and Rex kind of guarding Anakin in his quarters as he talks to Padme.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan comes up and he's like, "Where's Anakin at?" And Rex is like, "Oh, he's just chucking my helmet or something."
Yeah.
And anyways, Obi-Wan kind of alludes. He's like, well, when Anakin comes out, he's like, "Well, I hope you told Padme I said hi."
Yeah.
Which is so he knows. He's pretty much he's figured it out.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool because that ties really well into Revenge of the Sith. Because in the Revenge of the Sith, you kind of get this feeling that Obi-Wan knows from the start. And especially when he's like, so he's the father, isn't he? This kind of adds a lot more credence. He's had this theory for a while, but yeah, this kind of cements it.
And this episode just really shows how well Clone Wars is writing, how well they are at putting emotion into animated characters.
Yes.
Because the scene where Anakin and Padme hold up hands and the hologram wraps around, man, is that pulling my heartstrings.
Yeah, it was
I
really
loved
good.
that scene.
The animation in this new season is just phenomenal, and it continues to blow me away.
Yeah.
So anyways, back to kind of the plot. They go to what's the planet called? I don't remember what the planet's called.
Something weird.
Something really weird. They go with the Bad Batch. We still get our good, our hardy Wrecker, and he goes "Rawr!" and he destroys things, and he laughs about it like a child. I don't like Wrecker.
Wrecker makes me want to punch myself in the face.
Yeah, no, I get it. Seriously, It takes an episode that would normally be a 9 and puts it at an 8.
If someone stabbed Wrecker in the heart the last episode and he was dead this whole episode, I'd be like, man, what a good episode.
I know. I just want him gone. I want him out of the show.
I do too.
He's like a big baby.
Yeah, he ruins every scene he's in. It just takes so much away from it. I'm like, why?
Because the other Bad Batch members are so good. They're obviously going for basically a Republic Commando type team.
Right.
But they're just taking different characters. And in that game, I don't know if you played it. I haven't really played it, to be totally honest with you, but I know the lore. But in that team, there was no "Rawr, a Wrecker" character. But the other ones kind of fit, and it was so much better in the game than what it is in the show, because Wrecker just takes so much away from it. It makes me, every scene that he's in, I'm like, ugh. the good news is about this episode is that it's way less apparent than the first one.
True. I remember I watched this episode at like 6:30 in the morning on Friday.
Yeah.
Because I was going home.
Yeah.
And I remember Pierce was like, I remember telling Pierce when he got up, I was like, you'll like the new episode, but there's one part that'll kind of make you cringe.
Yeah.
And it was Wrecker.
It was Wrecker. He like beat up the droids and he was like, ah, ha, 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 ha. I don't know, he just laughed about it. And there's something about it that's just, he's so way overacted. And like, you know, I'll sing the praise of D. Bradley Baker over and over and over again for being able to voice all these clones. But there are some that he just kind of, like Wrecker, I just feel like it's overdone.
I know, but I also don't really feel like that's his fault.
No,
that's more of a writer's flaw.
Yeah, that's what he was given.
I know. He's the worst part of the episodes so far. And that's really my only complaint I have with him so far.
Yeah.
Honestly, because this episode, it has action in it that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
When the bird reptile takes Anakin.
That's good.
And they have to figure out how to communicate with the indigenous people without having them kill Anakin. That was interesting. And something that, you know, Star Wars doesn't really get that far into in the movies is the lack of communication between different people, you know, because the Republic obviously speaks Basic, which is English. And, you know, these people don't. And I thought that was kind of interesting, kind of neat little, not Easter egg, but just a little addition to make the Star Wars universe feel more real. In. Yeah.
Yeah. That you get like some of these planets, like the backwater, because right now they're in the Outer Rim sieges. Right. And so they're in like these backwater planets that might not be developed enough and might not speak Basic. Right. So it really adds another level of like, wow, the writers really thought about this show. Yeah. You see so many sci-fi shows that just kind of like, oh, yeah, everyone speaks English because that's English. Or maybe they have an accent. Yeah. But, like, I like to see the actual just different languages from all the species. I think it adds just a lot to, like, the actual, well, like you said, the feeling that the show's lived in.
Yeah. I think that's, you know, just a little point that I really liked about this episode. Another point that I really liked was, of course, the ending. Yeah. I think that's what the bulk of what we have to talk about is.
Yeah, when Echo drops down into Rex's arms.
Yeah. Gosh, what a scene.
What a scene.
I loved it. I don't think it could have been done better.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I'm just so excited for the next episode, which is another thing I kind of like about Disney putting every episode out at once. Or, like, not putting all the episodes out at once.
Yeah, like, is it definitely a cash grab?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I kind of dig it.
If I don't respect it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And it's something, I don't know, it harkens back to the days of old when you were sitting watching Clone Wars and you saw the end of an episode and you had to wait a week.
Yeah.
And I like how they're doing it. It feels natural.
Yeah, and now I think it also brings conversation more to the series than it would if you just released it all at once.
Yeah.
Because now Clone Wars is, just from a Star Wars media standpoint, is dominating the conversation for 12 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, and I think from like people who talk about Star Wars or write about Star Wars or anything really to do with Star Wars, they have content for 12 weeks, which is really nice, I think.
Yeah, I think it gives especially a lot of like the Star Wars YouTubers ammo on ammo for videos.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it would have to get tedious at some point.
Sure.
Like Star Wars is such like a ginormous thing, so like you could really especially if you're diving into Legends, you really never run out of content, but having this that's like topical is really good. Yeah. And I'm glad that at least 12 weeks, just like The Mandalorian.
Yeah. And also, my other thing, where do they go from here? I want to get your opinions on what you think episode 3 is going to, be mostly about.
I think episode 3 is going to not focus on the Bad Batch as much. I think they're going to be in it, but not as much. I think it's going to be more Echo and Rex. I think you're going to have to deal with the fact that where do we go with, like, what happens to Echo now that he's back? Because obviously he's not going to be on the battle field anymore. Like, those days are over. You can see that in, like, what does he not have legs? I don't think. I think they're like robot legs.
Yeah, and then he has the thing on his noggin.
Yeah, I think it's going to be dealing a lot with Captain Rex as he, like, struggles because his friend, I don't think Echo's going to be whole again.
No.
I think he's going to be really fractured. I think it's going to see Rex struggle to tell him about fives.
Yeah.
And I feel like it also is going to probably focus back more on Anakin.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest. I think Anakin's going to be a bigger part of this. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I feel like they've been teasing Anakin and Mace in this a lot. I think there's at least going to be a battle where like Anakin and Mace really shine in this.
I just, this seems to be like this is the next episode of the arc.
The final
episode, as Clone Wars usually does, 3 episodes at a time.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be really interesting to see how they wrap this up in a 20-minute episode.
They're going to have to really pack.
Yeah, which kind of makes me a little nervous. But again, as we said last time, I trust Dave Filoni.
I trust him. It's refreshing. Just like I said last time, I trust him. I know that he's gonna pull through. And what happened? He pulled through. It was a good episode.
Yeah.
If they took Wrecker out of the whole show, these episodes would both be 9s for me.
I agree. I think
that these might be one of my favorite Clone Wars arcs of all time. Just because I'm, like I said, I'm a fan of the clone arcs, the clone-centric arcs. And I think this would be really good for me. I don't think it's going to rank nearly as high. It's going to be one of my least favorite clone-related arcs, unless episode 3 really pulls something crazy.
Yeah, which I think it has a chance to.
Yeah.
And if not, I still think it's,
it's up
definitely
there.
a must-watch Clone Wars arc.
Oh, for sure. It's just Wrecker is so...
Yeah, I agree.
I really hope that for the rest of the season, or rest of the show, I guess you would say season, the rest of the season, that they just don't focus on the Bad Batch. I've seen a lot of theories that the Bad Batch is going to be like kind of in the show just always. I don't want that. I think they've served their time. I think they leave.
I honestly would be cool if we never see the Bad Batch again.
And I think that it wouldn't diminish them as characters at all.
I don't think so either. I think if, Rex says his goodbyes and thanks him for saving Echo, and then they're gone to fight off more war.
Yeah.
I'd be cool with that.
I want to see a scene where Hunter gives his respect to Rex.
Yeah.
Like, hey, at first I thought, you were just a reg, but now I'm all cool with you.
Yeah. I also think it would be interesting if we see the Bad Batch, if they, show part of Order 66.
Which they probably will.
Yeah. I think it would be interesting to see the Bad Batch during that.
Because they don't really serve under a Jedi.
Right.
So where would they go?
Or do they even have the chips in general?
No, I think they do. They'd have to have the chips, right?
No. I don't know.
I don't know.
know. There are questions to be answered.
Yeah.
And I think, there's still, after this episode, 9 more episodes left. There's more than enough time to explain what happens, or not. I still think they remain the same as characters.
Yeah. So, honestly, I really thought that this episode was a definite improvement over the episode before it.
I agree.
I think the episode before it, I'd rank it probably on my scale, probably 7. This one, I would say 8, maybe 8.5.
I would give this one an 8, and the last one probably like a 6.5.
You think 6.5?
I think I was blinded by hype the first time seeing episode 1. This one was much better.
This one was a lot better.
Yeah.
I want to see more Anakin. I want to see more Obi-Wan.
Show me more Jedi.
Show me more Jedi. That's basically what I want to see.
Yeah.
And I think that they will.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to deliver. I think that this season has a chance to go down as one of the best seasons in the entire show.
I agree.
I hope it does.
I hope it does as well.
All right, so I think that might wrap it up for this week's Clone Wars Quickie. Like we said, these are just going to be short little spurts of us talking. If you want this series to continue, or if you have other shows that you would like us to cover after this, we'll do like the one episode, kind of like, what would you call that, template?
Sure,
like that one episode a week kind of feel. Leave them down in the comments. We will maybe look at them. Who knows?
Yeah,
it never hurts.
We definitely will look at them.
Well, we'll definitely look at the comments, but like we might look at the show.
Yeah.
So it never hurts. Leave what you want to see us talk about in the comments below. And with that, follow our Twitter, roundtable_podcast. Just basically look at the description. Follow the Campus Citizen. Do you got anything to add?
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Yep. See ya.